Okay, here's my brand new Xenyx or Xenyx 502 from Behringer or Behringer, whichever way you want to call it. It's a very small analog mixer. It's not a USB mixer. It's got one channel, mono channel coming in here and two stereo channels coming in there. I used to have a USB mixer. I've been using it, a USB interface for the last year, and to be honest, it just wasn't working out for me. And the reason is latency. And latency is something that a performer experiences when they're singing into the microphone, and then that microphone signal goes into the USB interface, it goes down the USB cable into the computer where it's processed through your DAW or DAW, where it's perhaps an effect is added like reverb or compression, and then it's fed back through your computer, back up the USB cable, back into the USB interface, and back into the headphones of the performer. And that can take quite a while. I say quite a while, that's about 20 to maybe 30 milliseconds or even more. So what I did was I thought, what I'm going to do, I'm going to return to a setup that I had before I had the USB interface, which is basically an analog setup, or analog and part digital setup, where I had an analog mixer. In fact, I have a much bigger mixer than this. It had several channels going in, feeding into a USB, sorry, not USB card, into a PCI card internal to my computer. And I can show you what that looks like. I can't show you exactly what it looks like, but this is the box. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. It's an EMU 0404. Slots into one of your PCI cards in your computer. Now, the reason why this does away with latency, or at least most of the latency, I mean it's negligible, is that we get the microphone comes in here, it's fed out immediately down to my PCI card here, and the PCI card has inbuilt DSP effects, and it basically has very little time lag between receiving that raw signal here and then feeding it back into the mixer through these two cables here, where we can set the output here to the phones, and then the performer can hear it almost immediately through their headphones. Now, it seems strange, I think, that I'm now returning to a system I had at least a year ago, and in fact the preceding 4 or 5 years before that, but it works very well for me. And for considering that I've got a really small studio, I mean my room here is about 4 foot by 6 foot, maybe 5 foot by 6 foot. I was looking for something with a very small footprint that performs well, and I got this. And I don't know why I didn't do it a year ago, to be honest. I'm not condemning USB interfaces. I know that some USB interfaces can get around the latency issue by having effects built into the USB mixer. But with this setup that I've got here, using the EMU 0404 card, I can actually apply those effects also to my mix out of my DAW system. So it's a really kind of versatile way to input my audio, and I'm pretty happy with it. So there you go.